Hi guys, good evening. Welcome back once again to The Edward. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's episode I will be doing my episode review, recap, and reaction to episode 10 of season 5 of Falling Skies Reborn, which is also the series finale for the show overall. So if you're not caught up on the Falling Skies, and if you're behind a few episodes, or if you have not seen the series finale yet, do not continue watching or listening to this video, as I will be discussing big spoilers regarding the show's final episode. That being said, I was expecting so much more. I gotta be honest with you, it was not as good as I had hoped it would be. I mean, I'm sorry. I thought it would be something really big and action-packed, like the final battle, the final battle between the humans and the aliens and everything coming to blows. And we really didn't get a feel for that. I mean, we got, the opening scene is the Black Hornets coming down on the second mass. There are a couple casualties. Marty, the crazy gunman who had taken Weaver hostage, is killed, and a couple other characters, and the Skitter and the Black Hornets are dropping like man-made bombs and shit like that. And it's like, is this all we're gonna see? Is this all we get? And it was, because the rest of the episode made it sound like all of the militias are gonna swarm in on DC, on the Lincoln Memorial, and just go all out against the aliens and kill them all. And then somebody like Tom is going to kill the Queen Bee, and it did happen. Tom did kill the Queen of Shveni, and after she was destroyed, all of the Black Hornets died, and all of the Shveni died as well. See, that scene with the scene where an episode earlier, like in an earlier episode, where Weaver gets a glimpse of, when he touches the communication device, he gets a glimpse into an entire army of Shveni soldiers. And you think to yourself, ooh, oh goody, they're going to see a big battle scene between the Shveni and the Second Mass. And like, this is going to be their entire army. That's what our final battle will consist of. The Second Mass, the Volm, all of the militias are going to be going up against the Shveni army. And we don't see it. Most of the episode, the Second Mass is just walking through the dark of the tunnels. I mean, we see some creepy Shveni eggs, which were cool. And apparently Shveni babies are more dangerous when they're babies rather than when they become adults, so they can't really disturb any. And unfortunately, because several of them hatch, they're forced to blow up their tunnel entrance, which was supposed to be their one and only way into DC. And so the Second Mass is forced to turn back, and of course, one of the newer characters, Lieutenant Wolf, is the one who threw the bomb, saved everybody, but he died in the process, and Tom's trapped on the other side, alive, just bruised, but alive, and he continues pushing on because he's determined to find the Queen of Shveni, while the Second Mass has to find another way into DC. And all the militias we've been promised who are going to show up and be reinforcements for the Second Mass, we don't really see them in action. No big fight or battle scenes after that, really. I mean, that opening battle scene with the Black Hornets attacking the Second Mass was all we got. So I was like, wow, okay, some finale this is turning out to be. The Shveni Queen was cool. She looked really cool, really creepy with that female voice. I will say this about this finale. We finally learned why the Shveni attacked in the first place. It wasn't for our resources. It wasn't because they were bored. It was for personal revenge, as the Queen reveals to Tom while she holds him captive temporarily. It turns out the Shveni had visited the Earth 1,500 years earlier, and made contact with the first primitive man, and the Queen sent her best warrior, her daughter, along with a small group of Shveni to make first contact. But the primitive humans were much stronger, more violent than the Shveni had anticipated, and so they killed the Queen's daughter and her fellow Shveni and ate their flesh in an attempt to become stronger. and the Queen had made a vow to attack and make Earth pay for its sins in the past. Of course, Tom tries to explain and defend that, well, humans were violent, primitive animals back then, and we were defending ourselves, and you provoked us, so you kind of brought it on yourself that your daughter was killed. But the Queen doesn't see it that way. She controls the entire Ashveni race, and she had her forces, her entire army, completely attack and almost annihilate the Earth. So that's the whole reason why the Ashveni attacked in the first place. It wasn't because of their war with the Volm. Well, it was. That was one of the reasons. But the main reason was personal vengeance upon the Earth. Personal vengeance from the leader of the Ashvenis, the Queen. So that I thought was pretty interesting. I never would have guessed it would have been for personal revenge. I mean, most alien invasion movies, they're here for our resources. They want our planet. They want to kill us. In this case, it's just personal revenge. Okay, that's cool. But overall, it was not at all what I expected, because what I was really hoping to see was one big final gory battle where maybe we lose a couple more characters, the militias, the Second Mass, the Volm, all swarm in and just get in this all-out battle and like some hand-to-hand personal combat with Skitters, Black Hornets, and Ashveni, and mechs. Hell, there wasn't even any mechs in this episode. No mechs, no mega mechs. It's like that was it for the mechs, Although, now that I think about it, they did destroy the Ashveni power core on the moon in the last season, and that would have included powering down and shutting down all of the mechs. So that part I get. But, there's no big battle scene. There was just the opening battle scene in the opening of the episode. And, god damn it, there was no fucking big battle scene between all of our characters and all of their enemies. I mean, we got a confrontation between Tom and the Queen, and he kills the Queen. Surprise! And, all of the aliens die. And then Anne suddenly starts bleeding, and, there's something wrong with her. It turns out she took a hit of shrapnel when the grenade went off in the tunnels, when they had to close off the tunnels from the baby Ashveni attacking them. And she took a hit to the chest, or to her thigh, and it caused internal hemorrhaging and bleeding, and she basically bled out on the ground. Oh yeah, and for some reason they decide to reveal she's pregnant. Okay, is this another alien baby? Is this another Lexi? Why do you suddenly throw that in the mix? Oh, I'm pregnant in the series finale. What the hell? That's kind of like setting us up for another season, or a new spin-off show for Falling Skies or some shit like that. I mean, what the hell? I'm assuming it's a regular human baby, because hopefully, Tom doesn't have any more alien gunk or shit in his system, and neither does Anne, so I'm hoping that it's a human baby. And I guess I guess maybe they wanted it to be like a symbol of a new beginning for Earth. That's why Hal proposed to Maggie. He finally decided she's the one he loves, not the other Hispanic girl. And, now Tom and Anne are having a new baby together. And, Tom realizes, the victory is sweet, but victory comes with a cost. In this case, the cost of his wife. But then he remembers how the Dornia saved her. And for some reason takes a car and drives all the way back to the beach where he was first left by the Dornia, where he's been meeting with the Dornia, and they take her in the ocean after he pleads with them to help save her life. You guys owe me one, because I helped you carry out your revenge against the Ashveni. I killed the Ashveni for you. Save my wife. And they do. Fortunately, they do. But while he's waiting for that to happen, who should show up? Oh, look who's not dead. Surprise, surprise. It's Pope. Mr. John Pope. And I knew he would return in this episode. I knew it. I'm like, there's no way in hell they would kill off a main character the way they did in the last episode like that. Even if he is an asshole. There's no way they would let his death go like that all of a sudden. And for a while there, because I realized we're getting close towards the end of the episode and we still haven't seen Pope yet. Maybe they really did kill him. Nope, he's right there. Survived being crushed by rocks, and he was taken care of by another militia. And for some reason, his vengeance and bloodlust to get revenge on Tom has vanished. He thought, well, even he admitted to Tom, I thought I would be satisfied watching you suffer. Like, your suffering would give me satisfaction, but it hasn't, because he pieces together. I think, no, he probably saw Tom put Anne in the ocean and get taken away by the Dornia. So I'm sure I'm sure you know that he thinks, oh, now that Tom knows how I feel, ha ha ha. You know what? It's not worth it really anymore. And he offers Tom a chance to kill him, and Tom's like, no, war's over. I'm done killing. I'm not killing you. And then Pope, who's just barely hanging on the edge of a breath, just dies slumped on the beach because he wasn't in great shape. Obviously he had a building completely collapse on him, and he survived miraculously somehow, but it is possible. And he just dies there on the beach. Tom doesn't even kill him. He just lets him die because he can tell he's already dying and suffering. And I think he's more concerned about whether or not his wife will survive, which she does. And they rebuild the Lincoln Memorial, and probably using the Volm technology, they managed to communicate and spread the word throughout the entire world that the Earth has been won again. The Earth has been won. The enemy has been defeated, and then we see all these new world leaders come together in D.C. to listen to Tom's inauguration address. Well, he doesn't want to be president, but he is one of the new world leaders. And all of our characters are dressed up and cleaned up. Anne's pregnant. The Volm are there. Cochise is there. And I did like how Cochise finally learned to smile. He smiles at the end of this episode when everybody's applauding the second mass. And just like MLK's speech, Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech, the entire area around the fountain of the Lincoln Memorial is just jammed-packed with people, showing that quite a few people survived this 3-year war, survived the initial attack, they survived this occupation. Lots of people survived this whole mess, and most of them, for the most part, made it to D.C. to listen to the New World leaders talking about what's next. So obviously Tom will become some world leader. I'm sure his sons will become influential leaders too. The Earth is won once again, and hopefully that's the last we see of any aliens. Without, of course, except for the Volm. And I think the Volm are actually going to be a part of the new government as well, or at least they'll be a big ally to Earth's surviving people. So, it wasn't a horrible finale. It just could have been so much better. Just so much better. More epic fight scenes, more battle scenes. This was making us believe that there was going to be a big showdown between the Second Mass and the Ashveni and their allies. But we really didn't get that. We just got some Black Hornets attacking for a few minutes, and that was it. And the rest of the episode, they're wandering out in the dark, trying to get into the Lincoln Memorial. They can't. They backtrack, and as they're trying to figure it out, Tom kills the Queen Ashveni, and all of the Black Hornets explode in the air. All of the Ashveni and Skitters die. Humans realize that they've won, and Anne is dead. But then, of course, she's not, because Tom drives all the way back to that beach to revive her, and the Dornias save her. So, okay. And I guess, I gotta say, I really did not like how Pope's character was handled. Okay, he died, and I kind of knew that was coming. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I would have loved to have seen a scene where Tom or Anne or one of his sons are trapped, pinned down, and they're about to be ripped apart by the Queen or an Ashveni or a Skitter, and Pope just comes roaring in, screaming with his gun or his machete, ah, and starts hacking away at the Skitter or the Ashveni who's about to kill Tom or Anne or one of his kids, whoever they would have decided to use in the scene. It's like a great save sequence in Falling Skies. We've seen them before. Sorry about that. It's like, come on, you couldn't have, that could not have been, Pope would have gone out in a blaze of glory, sacrificing himself for Mason or a main character from the Second Mass and having a big old action fight between him and an Ashveni or some alien. And he ends up dying, of course, but he saves Tom's life or somebody's life. And we don't really get an answer why. It's just we know that he survived the building falling on him, and he made it all the way to D.C. because he knew that's where they were going in the first place. So, I was hoping we would see something like that. Unfortunately, we didn't. We just saw Pope kind of die on the beach, which I thought was pretty lame. There was a lot of lame aspects to this episode, but on the bright side, they did win the war. The Earth was won. There's still lots and lots of people still standing. The Volm are now our newest allies, and we know that we're definitely not alone in the universe. And Tom, reflects that that time-old lesson Men who forget history are doomed to repeat it, and they are determined not to let that happen again. And I'm sure with the Volm there, who will probably take a residency on Earth with their human allies, will probably provide them with some technology and weapons, just in case any other hostile alien races decide to attack. So at least Earth will be more prepared this time. And everybody, for the most part, pretty much lives happily ever after. And this may sound kind of morbid, but I thought it would be kind of fitting if Anne really did die, because there's no true victory without sacrifice. You know, every victory has a cost for the most part, and that definitely would apply to a show like Falling Skies. But unfortunately, we didn't get that. You know, it's I mean, it was an okay series finale, but it just could have been so much better. I don't know. I guess I was kind of disappointed by a lot of aspects out of it, but I also kind of liked it at the same time. But overall, the series, pretty solid series. You know, it's a good watch. It was pretty fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, or more than me. Or maybe you guys hated it. Please leave your thoughts and opinions in your comments down below. Of course, let's try to be respectful of one another's opinions and beliefs and whatnot. Click subscribe and comment and like this video. Share this video. I hope you guys enjoyed Falling Skies as a series overall. Maybe you had a favorite season, or you hated this season, or you loved last season, or you liked a character and you wish they were back. Leave your thoughts and opinions down below and let me know what you guys thought of the series finale for Falling Skies. Well, guys, thanks again for tuning in here on the Edward for all of your episode review and recap needs. I hope you enjoyed this episode of here on the Edward. And thanks again for tuning in, and have a great rest of the night. And, of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.